The Dad.
Rock and roll!
Well, judging from the carving on your desk, it looks like his name is Ozzy.
Yes, and apparently he rules.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So Mando and Grogu opened up, I would say slightly higher than people expected, 102 million here in the U.S. And I've heard rumors of filled theaters and another 65 million, deadline saying 63 here, overseas. And there are reports of filled theaters there. So I think in the end it'll probably turn up higher. But these are the first numbers that have come in for the holiday weekend, Memorial Day. I'm going to address the negativity. First off, the negativity from the shills. Mando isn't gay. There's no lesbian relationship. There's no inorganic diversity. Everything seems to be merit-based. And Grogu doesn't have pronouns. That's their problem, right? The problem with Hollywood isn't necessarily the people that work in the business. It's the people that work in the news. They're the ones that want woke shit. They're the ones that are the gay LGBTQ activists. And, you get your stars like Mark Ruffalo, Olivia Wilde. What the hell did she do to herself? She looks awful now. Others, Jane Fonda notwithstanding, she's been a fucking bitch since the day she was born. But here you go. This is what is happening. And the shills are upset because they don't have any fucked up weirdness to shove in our faces. It is just a very family-friendly, fun movie to go to take your kids. And apparently people are doing it. We will see what legs look like, okay? Honestly, I'm probably going to go see it again this week, depending. So, but let's talk about the black pills. The black pills, for the most part, are not trained journalists. Not that that means anything anymore. But from what I remember in classes talking about how reporters investigate stories, is you follow the story wherever it leads. Your opinion and your hypothesis on what the story is does not mean anything. Scientists do that. Bad scientists, and we have a lot of them, force statistics and numbers to reflect their opinion, not what they actually mean. They fudge the numbers. Reporters nowadays do the same thing. The black pills do the same thing. They see what's going on here. Look, Mando and Grogu, like I've said and others have said, does not necessarily have to make $1 billion to be a success. Because what it has is streaming and revenue coming in from merchandise. And sorry to blow your, minds on this, Pro, Valiant, and everybody. Grogu sells $1 billion a year, right? So in that case, you've got a success. Again, will the money make, what it should to be a success? I'd say if it ends up leaving, the cinema after a couple months, it'll probably have $500 million. And of course, they'll say it's a flop because they have to. Anybody who knows what the business says knows it's not a flop. Case in point, look at the audience score, the commenter on Rotten Tomatoes. 89% audience score, right? That makes it the highest scoring Disney era Star Wars movie by far, okay? When you look at it compared to like TLJ's got like a 63, which is not good. And then it just gets lower. So, I'm sorry, guys, but this movie might not be the lightning bolt A New Hope or The Empire Strikes Back was, but it's still, I think, in my opinion, doing what it needs to be a success, okay? So, let's talk on the other side. There's a surprise coming up.
Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
I don't have it with me. Tell Jabba.
Even I get bored sometimes. Do you think I had a choice?
For my dead body. Yes, I bet you have. Sorry about the mess.
Everybody can thank Baz Taylor for grabbing that for me. I found it on X and had to get the original cut of Han firing first. Okay, the anti-hero Clint Eastwood thing coming through. I love it. Anyway, let's talk about these two. This is who controls Lucasfilm right now. Now, John might make other movies for Disney, and he might branch out doing something else. But as far as live action feature films, I think he's probably the one that has an A or say over what goes on with that. Dave is the animation guy. And Maul Shadow Lord is absolutely impeccably wonderful. Like Lombardi said, you chase perfection to be excellent, and Dave has done that. And John, as far as I'm concerned, looking at the very safe Mando and Grogu, I think he's done that too. He did exactly what he had to. And it's going to be a slow build-up to fix the franchise. But again, this movie doesn't have to be a lightning bolt. And the people like Jeremy Griggs at Geeks and Gamers, Gary Beekler at Nerdrotic, the guys at Midnight's Edge and everything, they honestly believe if it doesn't make $1 billion, it's a failure. That's not true. It just has to do good enough, right? Build the new fan base slowly, right? Make everybody happy, all right? And again, I'm going to tell you something. John did play safe because I know for a fact there were at least 2 scripts written, and there were a lot of cameos in the other script. Like, we would have been inundated with OG heroes. There was a scene with Han and Leia. I was told it made me cry. There was a scene, I don't know if there's a scene with Luke, but, there you go. And the thing is that Disney wants to keep those characters safe. They want to wait till they figure out exactly what they're going to do with the failure of the sequel trilogy. And let's talk. The sequel trilogy did not make $4 billion. Again, I don't know where the fuck Blue Pills come up with that number, but if you look at the box office, and you can find it online, these movies, all of them, but for The Force Awakens, lost money. Rogue One lost money because Kennedy is a disastrous human being when it comes to keeping a budget. And again, because Disney put the kibosh on J.W. Rinsler's blog about what really happened on the set of The Force Awakens, they spent a lot more money than they said they did. And they don't want anybody to know. All right. Again, probably a Kennedy, imbecilic thing to do. Something somewhere. Making Rey the hero was an imbecilic thing to do. And of course, what I think is really funny is all the fourth wave feminazis screaming that this was a guy's movie. Star Wars, it's a guy's franchise. Screaming their heads off, me laughing my ass off. Girls who cannot get along with men because they're afraid of dick or something. And they are. Anyway. So, The Force Awakens did not make the money that I think people said it did because of the things we don't know that happened in the background. Reshoots. Things that went wrong. Harrison Ford getting his, foot broken by the landing ramp of the Falcon? And to be honest, it's like, on a movie set, it's like this. A battle plan. You come up with a battle plan, and it never lasts first contact with the enemy, right? That's a rule. That's Karl von Clausewitz. That's everybody. Here's the deal. Jon Favreau makes a battle plan, and something happens that he's got to fix. Now, organization is the key so that mistakes made, etc., do not ruin the momentum of the plan, right? Problem with J.J. Abrams is that with Kennedy breathing down his neck like the Wicked Witch, he could not keep organized, right? And, you look at The Force Awakens, Harrison Ford gets his foot broken, and he has spent most of the movie walking around in a boot cast. Okay, there's that. There's all kinds of other things going on that we don't know about because Disney would not let Rinsler talk about it. They wanted to protect the movie. But if you get to the rise of Palpatine, the disorganization is everywhere. They were filming that movie up until 2 weeks before it premiered. The fault with Disney is allowing the woke shit, allowing Kennedy to film The Last Jedi on the first draft, allowing Kennedy to be talked into bullshit that wasn't going to work. But again, Matt Bellany can say she's not woke, she has to be talked into it. No, a woman who proudly collected social justice artwork, socially responsible artwork, translated left-wing fascist artwork, is woke. That's the definition of fucking woke. And what they did with it, with all that crap, was ham-fisted. And it pissed off fans, actual real Star Wars fans. And it didn't work. And that bled into Solo, a Soy War story, which, again, socially responsible filmmaking, garbage. I mean, I'm sorry, but Emilia Clarke is one odd-looking chick. I mean, her facial expressions are some of the most annoying facial expressions I've ever seen on a woman, up there with Anne Hathaway, who's annoying all on her own phony woke ass. All right. Anyway, so that's the problem. Is with Solo was that it wasn't about Han Solo. It was about this creepy character named Qi'ra. And Donald Glover is Lando Calrissian, Pando Lando. Give me a break, guys. Again, the reason why Solo didn't work is because Alden Ehrenreich, even in Kathleen Kennedy's opinion now, is no Harrison Ford, right? People are expecting a suave, swaggering, reckless, Gunslinger, and we got, I don't know, some little dude who should have been going to shul instead of running around the galaxy, And it didn't tell us anything about him. But, they can say it suffered from Last Jedi fatigue. Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. But it also suffered from everything that they put into it was wrong. Right? I wanted a darker version. I wanted the guy that shot Greedo first. That's what I wanted. Somebody who knows if he's not watchful and if he trusts people too much, he's going to die. It's about Han Solo surviving and thriving as a pirate, smuggler, mercenary, whatever, with Chewbacca as a sidekick. How did they meet? Not when Chewbacca was going to eat him. That's the gayest thing I've ever seen. That was simplistic bullshit, right? And simplistic doesn't work in Star Wars like that. The story has to mean something. And actually, the Han Solo trilogy that A.C. Crispin wrote and some of the stuff that Brian Daley put in there were really actually quite good. Some of it was cornball, but you have to make the movie so that kids can watch it, but also that adults will appreciate it. And that doesn't mean gay shit. That doesn't mean woke. That means do a good movie with the hint of darkness. Show Han Solo from his early origins to who he was when he met Luke and Obi-Wan. Okay, that's it. Not a hard thing to do. Yet they ruined it, right? Did not make any money. And the kids still keep saying it lost the most money of all. It was the first Star Wars movie to lose money, okay? And it was. You get to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the loss is huger. Why? Again, let's talk about how much money Kennedy spent. At least $400 million on both of those movies. Jon Favreau got away walking with making Mando and Grogu with $165 million. You add another $85 million to it, and in marketing, because that's what they probably spent, and about $250 million, it'll make that back easy. So, you can sit there and complain and whine and cry and rant and rave, but this movie, it did exactly what it had to. Sorry, black pills, but your business model is dead now. And people, 89% audience score. And really, I'm going to say this, considering I know that Jeremy Griggs isn't a Star Wars fan to begin with, I'm fairly sure that he's not a Star Wars fan, so his opinion doesn't matter. All right? Nerdrotic, comic book store owner. All right? And the EU proselytizers, that's all they like. They can't be happy if it's a good movie. Right? And then, of course, you've got the blue pill shills crying because it wasn't woke. No gay Lando, or Mando, no gay pronoun-bearing Grogu, no lesbians, no girl bosses. Boo fucking who. I thought that's what Star Wars fans wanted. I know it's what I wanted. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.